Good afternoon, everyone. I see some got in here an hour early. Dawn says, same with me. I had to listen while I worked today. I was going to call roosters this weekend. The bloodbath started today. SO, who I call Cuz, says, Dawn, did you get some water bottles to test out a makeshift cone? Vermont Quail says, hello all. Bruno is here. Cuz says, good morning or afternoon, Bruno. Cuz says, slow day at work here. Only take 4 phone calls in 90 minutes. Typical phone call lasts about 3 minutes. Dawn says, SO, heck no, LOL. Hubby drinks Pepsi and the bottles are too small, and I planned this for the weekend. I'm going to have to do it the way I've been doing it. It happens too fast. Bruno says, Yodi's to all. Dawn says, all my work is put on hold for today because this is to get done today. There's at least 4 culprits. Cage is too hard to see in that they are in. Cuz says, guess you'll have to pick him up some 2 liters. I get a 1 liter if I could. I think that would be the magic size. And they're talking about how you make a bottle into a kill cone. Dawn says, S.O. Swanson, I think at a 1 liter Figgy bottle will work. It's square though. I'm off to go find the Figgy bottle and pull out the S hook later. Because square should be okay, in fact. In fact, when you figure out how they attach to the bucket, you may be able to hot glue them together at the inside corners to make them even more secure. Ed Got Bait says, good morning, all. Good afternoon, Ed. Cuz says, good morning, Ed. And then he asked, when you vacuumed the jar with your freeze dryer, did you take out the rack holder or just the racks? He continues on with saying, I watched the video. He said to take out the rack holder too, and I thought that was a waste of time. Figured they could just sit on the lower tray. Remember to hit the thumbs up button. I'm saying if a few of you missed it. I'm saying why we're too short, haha. Well, there's 7 people in here right now and only 6 thumbs up, and I know Steve gives at least 2 thumbs up. Dawn says, S.O. Swanson got 2 1-liter squares on the bucket. I couldn't find S hooks, but I have those book clamps that Verna talked about, and boy, are they sturdy. Thank you for dungeoning me into it today. She goes on to say, I hit the like button earlier. Andy Rabbit says, hello. Hello, Andy. I just cut a hole in the bottom of a takeout cup, small enough the bird don't fall out, and I use vice to hold it up for a bleed out cone. Nikki James says, hello all. Well, I'm all caught up. Wow, you guys are really ahead of me today. And I came on 3 minutes early. And it took me 5 minutes to read all the posts. Gus said plastic takeout cups are super for sure. I saved mine. And Dawn, it was somebody else that, I think it was Steve that mentioned the clips. I mentioned the S hooks, but let me show you my bag of clips. I got a bag of clips that I got from Amazon. And they go from this big down to this small. And yes, how's the baby pups doing? Well, in 2 days I'll find out how much more they've gained in weight, Andy. Um, Saturday they had gained, all of them has gained round about 2 ounces in a week's time. Jesse Mills says, good afternoon, everyone. I'm just listening in today as I'm at work. Good afternoon, Jesse. And everybody saying hi to Jesse. Nikki says, we purchased those kitty cones from Walmart and cut the tips off, mounted to a board. That sounds like a good idea, Nikki. Football cones. Okay. She says, Nikki from the sports section is a great idea. In other words, you do whatever you can do with what you have or what you can get hold of. PQ and U. Good morning, everyone. I've used a 2-liter bottle with the top and bottom cut out, hooked over the side of a 5-gallon bucket. Seems to work okay. And Little Rich Farm is here today. Okay, I don't know who PQ and U is, but good afternoon. And good afternoon, LRF. And you guys see what cup I'm using? My live stream cup that I got from um, Deidre's homestead. Now, the pups have all gained at least 2 ounces in a week's time. Now, I'll weigh them again Friday, so I'll have another report for Saturday morning's live stream. Dawn says, Verna, just passing through here. I am using the same clips you showed. They are sturdy. Yeah, they are sturdy, Dawn. Andy says, I cut the heads off, then drop into a cup until the floppy twitching is over. Well, what I do is when I make a kill cones, I do the bloodless call, then stick them in the cone so that way they can't pull their head up out of the cone and get out. And then I cut off the head and let them bleed out because I don't like the twitching in my hands. And I have 2 cones set up so I can go in the kitchen, get a bird, do the bloodless call, put it in the cone, snip its head off, and go into the kitchen again, get another bird. So that way, by the time I got 2 birds killed, the first one is ready for me to skin and process. Dawn says, Andy, that is what I am doing to drain out instead of holding with my bad arm. Andy says, I don't like the twitching in my hand either. That's why I say you do the call, the quick, and while they're twitching, you put them in the cone. Pull the head down and snip it off. Of course, I save the heads and everything for to freeze dry for dog treats. See, I've got arthritis in both my hands. And sometimes it takes me a while to do the bloodless call because they don't seem to want to die right away. Don S. has got to get everything set up and the sink ready. Yeah, you got to sterilize your sink before and after. Annie says, I use the heads and insides in the live trap. I put them in the freeze dryer and freeze dry them for dog food and dog treats. Because says you have to cut the lid section out to be able to pull the head through in the bottle type cone. That's true, because Vermont Quail says, how do you freeze dry stuff? Well, you have to have a freeze dryer. And let me see if I can give you the link. Go to harvestright.com. Let me see if I can get that link for you. If it ain't too big for me to put in. Dawn says, I have 2 cups set up. I'm used to holding them to bleed out. This is going to be better. PQ and U says, I was the first QuailCon. Couldn't make the last September. It's good to see you doing your own thing. PQ and U, I think I know you under a different name, but right now I can't bring it up. Andy says, we'll see, you got to put the dehydrator in the freezer to freeze dry. Oh no, the difference is the dehydrator heats up the food to dry it out, whereas the freeze dryer freezes the food and then heats up a little bit at a time. And as it, it draws the water out. It's just enough to draw out the water. Cuz says, I make my second payment next week. That's great, Cuz. And he says, I'm just kidding. Oh, I know, that's why I laughed, Andy. But you know me, even with jokes, I got to I have to answer the question even when I'm laughing. And Vermont, and Bruno says, thank you. There's Brooke. Cali Quail Keepers popping in to say hello to the family before I go to work. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, Brooke. Oh, and Friday I'm going to get from Misfit Market. I'm going to get my vegetables, and you know where most of them are going to go? To the pups. I'll eat some, the pup gets some. Andy says, many years ago, I didn't know how freeze drying was done, and I thought maybe that was how it was done till my mom and dad bought one. That is cute, Andy. Brooke says, times 2, LOL, thumbs up. Well, thank you, Brooke. I keep wanting to call you Callie, but I know it's Brooke in there. And Callie is short for California Quail Keepers. Now, Brooke is a sweetheart. And she's been through a lot and still keep going. And she's doing pretty good. Oh boy. No, let me get my form here. The funny thing is the male lost weight. Big Mama had gained 1/10 of an ounce. Black Papa had lost 7/10 of an ounce. Yeah, the smallest um, increase was 51 grams, which is 1.799 ounces. And the biggest one was 1.86 ounce. And he says, hello, Callie Brooke. Callie says, that's right. Pick yourself up and keep on trucking. And he says, that's all we can do, or we would be sitting on the floor crying all our life. Brooke says, trucking there, Andy. Love the rabbits. Does Chris have a silver from you? And he says, yes, that is right. Oh, thank you. Yes, that is right. Silver fox. Now I'm wanting some Havana rabbits. Probably one male and two females, unrelated, can so I can have some meat. Truck 3 Warden says, hey, Verna and all, nice snowy day here in Wisconsin. Hey, Truck 3, you keep the snow there. I don't want any of it. Not for another week. And let me see what the weather says for us. 50s today. 50. It's 50 degrees right now. And it's going to, for the next 5 days, it's going to stay around between 45 and 50 degrees. Callie says, Verna needs some bonbons. I love mine. And he says, keep that cursed white stuff. That says, LOL, y'all. Yeah, I don't want any snow either. And Bruno says twice times two. I don't know if he's talking about thumbs up or the snow. And he says, I love my buns too. Truck 3 Warden, Ed, I can send you some, LOL. No doubt, because if you send him some, it'll have to come through me. And I don't want that. Well, thank you, Bruno, for the 2 thumbs up. We got 12 and 11 people here. So that means somebody didn't give a thumb up, but that's okay. If they don't like the chat, they don't have to give a thumb up. But they can always tell me what I need to improve in the comments afterwards or in the comments here on live chat. That's fine. Because I'm always up for critiquing as long as they do it politely and not degrading. Mott says, I see 14 thumbs up. I see 13. That's good. You know, I'm 2 times 2. This is just great. Now if we can get 20 thumbs up. So everybody needs to grab a friend and make them come to chat. Because I got another week before lockdown. And as I'm taking those babies out of the incubator, I'm going to be putting them on the scale and I'm putting them in the box. And I'm going to have somebody sitting down, writing down the weights for me. Andy says, we cheat, haha. Bruno says, I can make more accounts, give all thumbs up. No, Bruno, don't do that, please. Just grab your friends and make them come in. Kelly Brooke says, so excited for you to have new babies. Yeah, I'm excited when my eggs start hatching because I miss my quail. And he says, when do you candle yours? Well, since these are not these are bought eggs. I'm not doing blutes, so I don't candle until I put them in lockdown. Ed says, I've got to unload the freeze dryer. Have strawberries, honeydew, and cantaloupe and okra to put into bags or jars. PQ and U says, we have at least 6 ice houses on the local lake here in Minnesota. You say Minnesota, and I want to say what a friend taught me, Minnesota. Nobody wants too much snow. Andy says, hold on. I'll go share on MeWe real fast. Thanks, Andy. PQ and U says, yep, that sounds right. I just got my order for more Mylar bags. Right here. And these kind of got the zippers. And they got the hooks so you can hang them. But you freeze dry above the zipper so that you can open them and got what you need, then seal them back up. Brooke says, have you tried horse pellet bedding in trays? I'm using triple screen for outside. Brooke, I did try the horse pellet bedding in trays, and it is just too heavy. When it gets wet, it just about breaks the ledges on the cages. And he says, I miss that, holding them again, please. Oh. The bottom's supposed to open up. It's taped right now. You got little tape tabs, but it opens up to lie flat. So yes, they are fixed, so you can do it. Brooke says, "Oh goodness, I get that." And Steve says, "I shoveled some poop out from under my cages, and see, I still have black soldier flies." And he says, "They are cool, thanks." Brooke says, "Nice, SO. I need to make a system." SO says, "Do you have a link for those bags?" They aren't from no, they're not from Harvest Right. They are, hold on, I'll give you the link. Because they're from Live Life Simple Under 40. Just a second, and I will give you that link. They're retired at 40s supplies. And let me see where I'm at. Yeah, they will hang out until it gets too cold and it kills them. Brooke says, if you feed them, they will come, lol. Andy says, I get thousands in rabbit poop. C says, at Ed, they go dormant, and if they can burrow deep enough, they go dormant for the winter down there. In other words, let your poop pile deep. Don't clean it out until spring, and then you'll save your black soldier flies. Ed says, how do you do your tiny marshmallows, Verna? Have a big bag and don't want a big mess. Okay, you will probably use, if you got a big bag, you'll probably use two trays because you sprinkle it out lightly. Remember, they need room to grow. They about double in size. So you want a scant layer. Because if you do a full layer or a tight layer, it'll be like popcorn all over the inside of your machine. I'm going to have to start doing some videos like I promised about that. Ed asked if I use the candy mode. No, Ed, I just use the regular freeze dry mode that you use for any other vegetables that you're doing. Brooke says, gotta go. Enjoy the day, y'all. You have a blessed day, Brooke. She says, have you assembled your new cage from Dale yet? No, I gotta do that today. Vicky Keaton. Hello, Vicky. She says, hello, listening while I'm at work here in California. And he says, did I tell you that I had some freeze dried jello? It was good. No, but I seen Ed said it was good, and he's done some freeze dried jello. And I've got some gelatin that I can make my own jello with and use it. PQ and U says, I've used a horse bedding. Yeah, it can get heavy. It might depend on the size of the cage or poop tray. I switched to horse bedding for kitty litter. C says, you going to video the cage? I'm not going to video the build, but I will video the cage, mostly when I'm putting the babies in it. And he says, always like the freeze-dried pears in the MREs. I tell you what's really good. Pineapple and peaches are great freeze-dried. Eggplant's great because, you make it into round chips, and that's great to use in place of crackers or bread. And he says, I use wood pellets for cat litter too. I have also got a video that I've got to get up for YouTube that I did, I think last week or this weekend. It took a heck of a time for me to get it load onto Google Photos. And then downloading was nothing. But it's going to be about 38 minutes of just the quail and the one cage. Nikki says, I used to pellet horse bedding too, used real lightly on trays. And he says, you going to freeze dried veggies for the piggies? No, they get the fresh. I get the freeze dried. But I could also give them the freeze dried carrots if I wanted to, but that's the only way I like raw carrots. I mean, I love raw carrots, but I can't eat them unless they're freeze dried or grated. But I've got rainbow carrots coming in, organic. And I don't remember what else. I can remember I'm excited about the organics. So every week I'll be getting a box of misfit vegetables. And what I don't eat is going to go to the piggies. So I have 2 more days before I can order my next box. Let me see if I can find a link for that. Misfit Market. All right, there we go. And if you got honey, when you use this link, oh boy, it won't let me do the link because it's too big. Here, let's see if we can cut all the rest out and just use this part of it. There you go. PQ and U says, gotta run. It's been good popping in to say hi. Thank you for what you do, Verna. And thank you, PQ and U. Now that name's got me bothered because I can't remember who that is. And he says, that's good. I thought about getting a box like that before. Maybe if I had little piggies back then, I would have really thought about getting into them boxes. You know, Andy, even if you just do it for the winter and you don't have just to get fresh vegetables, then that's great because you could stop it at any time. Gail Bosley says, hi, this is Bruno's wife. I also enjoy watching your videos. Well, thank you very much, Gail. And you spell your name like my aunt used to spell hers, with a Y instead of an I. And Andy says, hello, Bruno's wife. And she says, hello, sorry you have to endure Bruno, haha. Hey, if you guys are not in it yet, this is what you need to join next is come on, let me find it. Andy says, haha. And so Nikki says, Andy, next week I'm going to try sexing my baby buns. If I need, can I reach out to you for some help? Nikki, that's about what I should be sexing my piggies. The kind needs to be sexed at 3 weeks or they can get their siblings pregnant. Because I may just leave 2 females with the male. My bun will. Gail says, I love the spelling too. Bruno is one of a kind, I assure you, Steve Swanson, LOL. Oh, Nikki says her rabbits will hit 5 weeks. Well, yours hitting is going to be easier to do than mine because mine are smaller animals. SL says, I used to have bunnies long ago. Had a boy and girl. The boy had babies. Guess I had that backwards. Oh. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take all the guinea pigs out of the cages to weigh them, put them in a box, 2 boxes, and then I'm going to rearrange the cages for when I start building the other cage. Andy says, if you were asking me, yes, you can reach out to me. Nikki J says, that's my fear, LOL. Well, Nikki, just imagine having to do guinea pigs because you sex them just like you do rabbits. Gail says, hello, rabbit. Oh, wow, we went over a half an hour already. Today is really going fast. Got 10 people in here. We only need 6 more thumbs up, people. Andy shows a bunny rabbit. Nikki says, yes, probably through MeWe, Andy. I have a MeWe account, but I haven't been on MeWe. Maybe I need to start checking at it. Andy says, I can't thumbs up anymore. I know you guys already put your thumbs up in. Now, there's my lighter. Yes, MeWe. Does it work like Facebook works? Andy Pillows. Okay, you're Andy Pillows on MeWe. I don't remember what my name is on MeWe. I should make another account. And he says, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does work like Facebook. In other words, you can just throw stuff out without having to belong to a group or anything. Nikki says, it's your regular name, Verna. Oh, you already checked? Thank you, Nikki. Maybe I'll make another name for the business, because on my business, I'm Vase Place. Because if I could change my Google name, I'd change it to Vase Place. Because I don't do just quail, I got Kai, and that's what's fun is I use my business name for my other like. Cool. We got only need 5 more. to put me over the moon. But we got probably at least another hour before we have to worry about it anyhow. And he says, I have a phone account and a TV account. Oh, wow. Well, next time I go to Jenna's house, she's going to cut my hair for me. I want it cut down to here. Cut off those 4 inches or so. Maybe I could try on the kids' account. No, 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 no. Now that's cheating too much. What you do is just grab people. I can't invite people when I'm live because it doesn't give me that option. And I don't know what that button is. Let me see. Send feedback. Yeah. See, and I don't know how to um I don't know how to show clips in or my screen or anything like that. Nikki says, usually I have Brad go in and like, but he is sleeping. Let sleeping dogs lie because you don't want to wake him up and get him upset. Because Brad needs his sleep. See, the people that are usually here on Saturdays aren't. Some of them aren't here, like Aaron and Christina, because they have work to do. They work. But they make it Saturday morning, but this is the lunchtime edition to get those that can't make it in the mornings. And Nikki says he would be a grumpy bear for sure, lol. That's why they say leave sleeping dogs lie. Because you wake up a sleeping dog, you might get bit. And he says, nope, you're too grown up for the kids' account, I guess. LOL. She says, in that case, don't wake him up till spring. Ed says, well, I have to actually do something, LOL, other than sit on the couch. I'm listening while I do the freeze dry stuff and making my breakfast. Yep, when I get done here, I got to work on the cages. No, I got to put the apples in the freeze dryer because I haven't done that yet. Put apples in the freeze dryer. Then build the cages. Then transport the piggies because those pups are getting bigger. Hold on a second. I'm going to go get a pup. Well, it looks like I can't get a pup right now because they're nursing. I went in there and all three of them tucked up against mom's belly. Chris, Jerry, and Rose Elrod are in. Good afternoon. And I'm not sure if it's Chris or Rose, but good afternoon. Glad you made it. And he said, oh, that's cute. What's cute, Andy? I think what it is, they heard me say I'm going to go get one, and so they all went up to eat, so I wouldn't bother them. Because they scream like crazy at first, because they don't like being picked up. Ah, the baby's nursing. That's what I thought. Yeah, they're nursing. The funny thing is, Bits of Rust is what I named the one that was the runt the first week. And she's the one that gained the most weight in a week's time. She says scream just like real pigs. Yep, they do. They like being pet, but they don't like being picked up. But once they're flat in your hand and you start petting them, they go crazy. They just melt. Nikki says, today is my youngest baby's 27th birthday. Twins. Feeling old. Ah, tell your twins we said happy birthday, Nikki. And you want to feel old? My oldest granddaughter just turned on Monday. She had turned 25 years old. It's funny because each one of my two girls are 10 years apart, and my granddaughter's 10 years younger than my youngest daughter. So that's 77, 87, and 97. And he says, I'm asking a friend how much hers weigh. She don't eat her animal, rabbits or piggies. And she says, my eldest grand is 22. See, my eldest grand is 25, just turned 25. And you know what, you guys? I did pretty good this week. Because Monday the 5th was my granddaughter's birthday and the anniversary of my husband's death. And then on the 6th was the anniversary of the accident that caused my life to turn upside down. And he says, she asked me, why do they want to know how much they weigh? Haha. Well, I'll tell you how much my adults weigh. The biggest one is 2 pounds and 3.8 ounces. Then the smallest one is 5.89 ounces. And hugs to you too, Andy. But this is doing good. Nikki says, my oldest turned 32 Sunday. Andy says, I think my TV is lagging behind some today. No, it's just sometimes my mind goes in so many different directions. It takes me a minute to realize what somebody's talking about. See, my youngest daughter is 35. She'll be 36 July 17th. Andy says, oh, okay. No, you answered within a couple remarks after I said something. So it wasn't you, Andy. It's totally me. I just figured out what I would like for Christmas. And that's green stalk. And he says, my oldest is turned 30 this year. Okay, guys. Truck 3 says, Nikki, good thing you mentioned your oldest turning 32. I realized my oldest turns 32 today and totally forgot. Guess I get Bad Mom Award. No, Truck 3. That's not Bad Mom Award. What you focus on once your kids get married or get over 21, you focus on possible grandkids' ages. And our brains can only hold so many birthdays. I'm going to get some coffee. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Thank you, Steve, for putting the coffee out for everybody. S.O. Swanson says it's their job to remind us. Yeah, I agree. Andy says, hey, you remember by the end of the day, you're doing good. Yep. Dawn says, I think I got Christmas yesterday when I got my repaired partial back from the dentist. That was expensive. Oh, wow. I'm glad you got it back, though, Dawn. Nikki says, uh-oh, LOL. You're a busy person. It happens. And Steve gave out 7 cups of coffee. And he says, haha, I told all my kids when they turned 21, I wasn't keeping track of their age anymore. And yep, now there's grandkids. Truck 3 says, do they know that their mom can't remember birthdays, anniversaries, etc.? They may get their presents 6 months after the birthday when I remember where I put them. Makes all year exciting. You got that right, Truck 3. You know, my kids don't want nothing to do with me, so I adopted kids. So that's Zach and Jenna, I adopted them. They take the place of my 2 girls. Gail says, I'm drinking coffee too, decorating the tree and watching this video. How's that for multitasking? That's great. Andy says, oh, Nikki, I just realized who you are. Nikki says, I go through and put reminders into my phone. Too many grandbabies to keep track of. Andy says, hello, Nikki. Nikki says, Andy, I figured you just knew, LOL. Well, what I was supposed to be doing was I was supposed to be crocheting during the live chat, but I dropped my needle and I can't find it. Andy says, I'm slow sometimes, haha. Now let me see if I can get that baby. Hi, Mama. Yeah. bite me today. One today. I'm going to get one of your babies. Go lay down, Lucy. There you guys go. I got one. See, look, it's that way on that side and all black on the other side. And on the face, the white face is white on the black side and black on the white side. And Andy says, different pictures here in my defense. Nikki says, true. Andy says, it took a few minutes to dawn on me. Nikki says, ah. Andy says, cuteness overload. Getting huge for, yeah, and they got a full milk belly. Ed says, reminds me of a Star Trek episode. Yeah, oh, what was the name of them? I forgot. And he says, Two-Faced. That's it, actually two. Quibbles, oh yeah. Troubles, yeah, that's what it was. Troubles. Two-Faced is what I thought too. Yeah, I think this one will probably be Two-Faced. Mostly black. So mostly black is Two-Faced. And the half and half I'm going to call Shadow. No, yeah, Shadow. And the one with the red spots on it, I call it Bits of Rust. You see how she calmed down after she got all 4 feet on my hand? Be nice, Lucy. See the baby? Did you smell her? Okay, I'm going to put her back real quick. Yeah, I'll put her back. Yeah, did you hear us? Oh, so Lucy gets up in my lap. Let me see, it says here. Yes, that's it, Andy says. He says spelling tribbles. Andy says, not many people remember that episode. Not even my dad. That's a big Trekkie. And Ed says, in the episode where the two guys had black and white faces, but it was on different sides, and they hated each other because of it. And Andy laughs and she says, "Hi, Lucy." It's Lucy, not Lucky. Nikki says, "Lucy got to have her loving too." Yeah, she gets a little bit jealous sometimes. The mommy girl. Now off. No, you got to get off. Oh, you love bug. See, she doesn't want to get off, you guys. Now watch. Lucy, you got to get off. Get off. Come on now. But she wants her screen time, Ed says. And he said, I meant to say Lucy, autocorrect. It's okay. She is lucky. We're both lucky. We got each other. Gail says, our cat is named Lucy. And Steve says, Lucy is lucky. Yeah, you remember what happened at the first QuailCon, Steve? Because, yeah, Lucy is very lucky. And Andy agrees, yes, she is lucky. But I'm lucky for finding Lucy because Lucy and I found each other. And when I walked in to the doorway of the pound and seen her at the far end cage, our eyes met and we've been together ever since. And Lucy has PTSD just like I do. So we understand each other very well. And I got to quit yelling. Andy says, what town is QuailCon in? Miamisburg. It's right at My Shire's Farm in Miamisburg. That's 15 minutes away from me because I'm in Franklin, Ohio. And he says, I'm going to ask a Dan Good popcorn man if he would like to go. Oh, and sell popcorn? That would be great. That would be great. I think I'll reward myself after I get the cage built. And he says, I ordered the popcorn for my dad for Father's Day gift. It was good. Was it caramel corn, Andy? Yes. Oh, great. Yeah. You got to ask him if he wants to go. What state are you in, Andy? Nikki says, yum. Kettle corn and caramel kettle corn. Oh, yeah, that's the best. That is the best. I wish I had a stock pot, because they're tall. Because I've been watching how they make that kettle corn, and I know I can make some for myself. And he says, I'm not sure he will drive that far. I'm in Missouri. Oh, no, he may not. But if he did and he got in with Zach, he could make a pretty penny there. Andy says he's next to Springfield, Missouri. Yeah, he lives by you and Chris. Not far from Chris. Oh, slightly redneck. He is about an hour from Chris. Slightly redneck, yep. So you're right with me, Andy. So I've got jumbo whites in the incubator. Nikki says, yeah, I think it would do really well at QuailCon. Yep. Bring that big kettle and have fun. He could make back more, at least twice as much of what it would cost him to get here and back. Andy says, but I'm thinking about asking him now so him and Zach can talk now about it, even if I have to order Zach a sample bag. Steve says, what? Popcorn that really is popcorn and not a chick? Yeah, this is featherless popcorn. With sugar added. Did you guys watch Zach's video today about the classes? If you want to get into either Wednesday or Thursday night's class, you have to text him. You can text him with a question, and but you should really watch his video today. And he says that be a sales saying for him. There, LOL. Featherless popcorn. Featherless sweet popcorn. Or featherless caramel corn. Yeah, Zaka had the popcorn in the brooder box, and your friend had the featherless popcorn outside. And says, yes, I watched right before I came on to watch. Nikki posted it on MeWe. Cool. And that's a very important one because he's going to be starting a class series the first of the year. But he's doing a test run next week or, yeah, next week. Okay, I haven't heard anything from Bruno for a while. And I don't see anything from his wife lately, from Gail. We have 10 people here and 16 likes. That makes me happy. Oh, we're up to 16 likes now. Andy says, I was just looking for a picture, but remember, I can't post pictures here. Ha ha ha. It was a brooder made from a popcorn machine. It was cute. That would be adorable. So he says, I won't tell you I have 17. Well, it always shows me one behind. So the person that is filming only sees 17. Gus says, I've been looking for a broken popcorn machine. Haven't found one yet at the right price. Yeah, I don't have enough room to have extra things like that. So I have to pop my corn right on the stove. Gus says that and a beverage center for a homemade incubator. And he says, I know, I'm thinking about just building one someday. Building a brooder or a popcorn machine. Well, you guys will go until 2:30 today if we want to keep going. And he says, I think it would look cute next to my bubblegum machine. A popcorn maker make a popcorn machine brooder. Do you have a bubblegum machine brooder, Andy? Cuz says I see some plexiglass in both our futures, Andy. Andy says it's only 110 here, haha. Yeah, but see when it's 210 here. So I got you right at noon. And that's one of the reasons why I put 1 o'clock because usually at 12 o'clock I'm taking Lucy for a walk. Oh, my heat just kicked on. That's the first time I've heard it all morning. With it 50 degrees outside, the heat doesn't run that often. Be 1 minute, you guys. I gotta answer that call again. Dogs and kids all follow you no matter where you go. And he says, no, it's a bubble gum machine that I have beads in. But one day I'm going to fill it with quail eggs, blowing out eggs, that is. Blowing out, and you're going to have the foam inside of them. Truck 3 says, I bought a bubblegum machine at an auction and put jelly beans in it for the grandkids. She says, that's a neat idea too, Andy. Andy says, yes, need some plexiglass. And he says, my daughter bought me a working one. I haven't set up yet, but jelly bean is a good idea. I hate kids having gum in my house. I agree. There's two things that weren't allowed in my house, mostly when I had carpeting, and that was gum and Play Doh. Because you know what kind of messes they make. And he says, yes, foam. I think y'all told me to use window foam or foam insulation, is what I heard. Whether it's for windows or walls. And he says, yeah, window foam in a can. Yep. And don't forget to coat it with either clear gel nail polish or hard as nail polish. And he says, I looked on Ed's Got Bait channel. He needs more videos on the eggs. Oh, he's not going to do that because he's going to be, he's hoping to be able to have a class teaching people about it at QuailCon next year. And Andy says, oh, thank you, Verna. You're welcome, Andy, for whatever I did. Glenn Wells, late but here. Went to town to get some feeders and waterers for outside cages. Going to clean out brooders, move 82 cages, get ready for next lockdown on 12th of December. That is wonderful, Glenn. Better late than never. And he says, oh, that will be awesome. Oh, I know what you said thank you for about coating the eggs after you get them foamed. I've been watching a lot of hacks about super glue and different things that you can add to it to make it harder than heck. The gel nail polish idea. Yeah, you can use the clear gel nail or you can use Hanson's hardest nails. Both of them would be good. The gel nail, you'll need a black light to harden it. It's just I go into lockdown on the 15th. I go into lockdown on the 14th. So Glenn goes 3 days before, I mean, 2 days before me and three before you, Andy. What type of eggs you got in the incubator, Glenn? Thumbs up. We still need another thumbs up. See this here? Excuse me. is how one of the booties look. Glenn says jumbo mix for the freezer. And she says, how many eggs you have set, Verna? I have 60. I only have 30 because I have to get things organized before I do my big order. And he says that booty looks good. Yeah, that's for that's how it looks before I sew it. I'm waiting for my needles to come in. But this is how it looks after it's sewed. Well, this is going to be drawn up right here at the toes. And then the other color I started on is this. So I'm working on my Christmas presents. No, I have 30 this time, and I'll probably get 60 next time. Because on the jumbo whites, I don't need a lot of them. So I can do a pair of booties a day if I'm not doing anything else. And I've got 2 weeks to get 5 pairs done. And he says, I did one something like that before I sold them on cheap flip flops. Now, mine aren't going to be sewn on anything. I'm putting this on the bottom so that they're not slippery. That way it had a good sole. Well, these are good soles. They're nice and thick. She says, I have to get my male-female ratio back before I can do any eggs. What's wrong, Steve? Too many females, not enough males? See, I have to bring my numbers up because I'm at 0 quail right now because I killed them all off last month because I was done with my experiment. And now I'm going to experiment to see how long they can breed before their numbers go down. Andy says, I made them look like Converse shoes. Oh, I started one that looks that way, but let me get it if I can find it. Right here. Wait a minute, I got it upside down. And see the sides on it? It ain't big enough to see, but you got the ridges. Or maybe it goes, no, it goes. I think I messed up on that one. That's supposed to be straight. And I made them all ridges, so I got to start all over on that. She says, would you believe I have no idea how many females or males in each cage? I just kept popping more girls in there and ate the new males. Oh, cuz that wasn't wise. You're gonna have to do some eggs up to get some males in there, right amount of males to female ratio. And he says, I hatched out from my 3-year-old quail this spring. I was getting pretty good hatch rate too, like 18 out of 25 eggs. Okay, let's see. So you were getting a 72%. That's good. At 3 years old. And he says, oh no, Verna, I would look at the pattern before I pulled out stitches. No, I can tell because at the beginning it was right. But on the top, it's wrong. But I can tell by the beginning right here. And that is number 6 yarn, and it hurts my hand to work with. Nikki says, I've been listening in. Has someone coming to pick up eggs, so I need to get them packaged up. Well, Nikki, why don't you go get them packaged up? And he says, I thought it was good for their ages. 72% is great. If your hens are laying that, are your hens laying good? The only thing I would change is I would put a new male in with the hens. And just change out the male. But my last experience proved that out of my Shire eggs, it takes at least 12 generations before any signs of inbreeding happens. And he says, I had one batch I set that was 20 eggs and got 15 babies. That's still 75%. The males were the same age as the hens. That's why you need to just change out your males, Andy. How many hens are there? Nikki says, yes, I did. Carolina Kind Home said, cheers, good to see you live. Good to see you, Carolina. I started at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today, and I'm leaving in about 5 minutes. Carolina says, howdy, y'all. I need 2 more thumbs up before I leave so that I can get to 20. Carolina Kind, oh dang, I almost missed you. Well, I might stay on for a little longer than 3 minutes, so. But I have to go by quarter till at the latest. I know it. In Carolina, Matt hasn't made it in today either. From Grafted Branch. See, if you're not, you should subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and select all so that you get all the notifications. It says, what was I thinking? Setting 120 eggs for my brooder is only large enough for 50. Well, you get another brooder. And he says, I have one old roost still. Andy says 3 minutes to spare, and Caroline. I think I'm going to go on for another 15 minutes, you guys. Just because Carolina came in. And she says, howdy, SOS. But if I want to do that, I need a cup of coffee. So let me get some coffee. Okay, I'm back. Carolina says, exactly. I think I need to build another. Andy says, but I'm fixing to move him out for a Christmas dinner. He's getting old and more scared now that young blood is coming up. Yep. She says, can you have enough brooders? Haha. Andy says, the more cages you have, the more you fill up. So the answer is no. Carolina agrees, never enough. Glenn says, if I'm not building cages, I'm putting together brooders. Gonna need another one by next week. These birds just taste so good. Yeah, they do. And I tell you one thing, you take your quail breast and you fat cock it and sprinkle both sides of it with my mind just went blank. Let me go get it. With jerk seasoning. And this is what I use. See if I can get the light off of it some. Jamaican jerk seasoning. And it really tastes good on quail. And just cook it in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes. And it is good. Andy says, I use the little critter cages I have. All 5 ready for just in case on the 60 counts. You know, that's a good idea. Except for I would have to put plastic around the inside of my litter critter cages. Because those because baby Kai and baby quail could slip out of that 1-inch wire. Because it's a thinner wire than what we use on the quail cages. You got another half hour, Lucy. Glenn says, I use Slap Ya Mama Cajun seasoning. I've got some Cajun seasoning too. That's good on it, yeah. I agree. Carolina says, when these hatch, I'm calling what I have. How old? Oh, yours is a 3-year-old, right, Carolina? So yeah. And he says the critter cages stack on top of each other if I need. And he says the critter cages with the plastic purple or green bottom. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Andy. But I had the Kai in there when she gave birth, and those babies for the first few days could slip out real quick. Then I had to round up the babies. And I mean, looking for baby Kai is just as bad as looking for chicks that get out of their cages. As says, I show 20. Let's see that celebrity dance. I've only got 19 on my end. I have to wait a minute, Steve. Carolina says, no, mine are a few months old. First in, first out. I'm keeping a breeder set. Okay, keep your breeder set because when I did my experiment, I did every time I hatched, I got rid of the adults, and that's how I was able to find out how many generations until deformities start showing up. Says, after these eggs hatch, I'm calling a lot of my quail I have now too. I'm keeping my 1-year-old hen just to see how long she lives. You live in my one old hen. See how long she lives and how regularly she lays. Because after a year, after 18 months, the hens usually start backing off on their laying. Do you know how often she lays, Andy? And Carolina, are you keeping a brooder set from each type or color specific returning set you have? Andy says, I don't know if I can tell how she lays. There is like 30 in the cage. To know for sure, you would have to have her in a cage by herself, even without a male out, just to see how often she lays. Because that's what I'll be doing. I'll be counting weights and how many eggs. I'm going to have each cage is going to have a certain amount of female hens and a certain amount of roos. Nikki says, I have a 2-year-old jumbo wild who lives by herself. She lays every day without fail. Amazes me. That is great, Nikki. Keep her going to see how long before she starts slacking off. And he says, but in the beginning of beginning of spring, I had 8 hens and was getting anywhere of 8 to 10 eggs a day. Yep, they can lay every 18 hours, but usually average out to just one a day. And he says, I mean 10 hens, ha ha ha. So you had 10 hens and we're getting anywhere from 8 to 10 eggs a day. Glenn says, I was thinking of ordering eggs and going with only one color, but I like a cage full of different colors. And since I'm only raising for meat and eggs, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Hey, Glenn, what works for you is great. See, what I'll do is I'll have all my jumbo white wings in one cage. Then my next colors, my jumbo whites in one cage. The next cage, I'm going to have jumbo white wing pharaohs. And then I'll start, see what else I get. Andy says, she's a sweet girl. She still comes up to me every time I open the door. That's great. Nikki says, she is very human friendly, but I share her with other quail. That's why she lives alone. She's great when kids come with parents for birds. That is wonderful. You know, Nikki, everything has its place. You just have to find out the niche it fits. It's just like Big Mama, that Kai, she's a biter. I was putting food in her cage last night and she bit my finger. She didn't bite it hard and I didn't jerk away because I was pouring food in her dish. But I bopped her on the nose. So you don't bite me. But those babies are quickly learning that if I want to pick them up, they can't escape from me. And the same thing my quail learned. And he says, at Glen, that's what I like, colored birds. So that's why I decided to go with Celadon. Colored birds with a reason. Don't matter, they lay blue eggs. I tried Celadons, and to me, they're not worth keeping just for their eggs. Now, if they came with others that were not, then that would be fine, but I'm not going to breed just for Celadons. C says it's a hard decision, Glenn. Variety, color gathers attention. Yeah, but Steve, he's breeding just for his freezer, so it doesn't matter. And he says the black is not a celadon layer, but it's pretty. Is that a growl fee? Alrighty, guys. No, it's a black. Where did you get it from, Andy? Tibetans are usually, it can be black. John says, I am done. That was so much easier. Oh, you did your calling already? That didn't take you any time at all. Yes, congratulations, Don. And he said, from a friend that ordered eggs. She said, great, Dawn, and no sore hands. And Dawn says, thank you, Steve. You guys, it is time for me to head out. No sore arms at all. That's always the goal. Anytime you can make it easy on yourself. And Carolina says, okay, have a great day. Everybody have a blessed day and stay safe.